everyone, it's Deanna Christine back from Deanna Christine's Corner. Thanks so much for being here and watching. So I'm just going to talk today about some more updates on my progress in my journey. So as my previous video stated, I have started a weight loss journey as well as a braces journey. So if you want just to kind of where I'm going with that, go ahead and check out that video, but this is essentially an update. So essentially I'm getting braces, it's all official. I'm getting braces in about a month and about a week or so, because I'm getting them May 29th and I'm filming this on April 20th. So yeah, so it's gonna be about a month and just over a week away. So that's really exciting. This is something I've wanted since I was about 12 years old, because I have had crooked teeth since that time, because I had these teeth here grow in while I still had the babies. I've had issues right here with some teeth crowding, so it's definitely something that I'm really excited that I'm going to get to do, and that I'm in a position that I'm able to afford it and go ahead and get it. So my braces, I've been estimated that my braces total is going to be about, I believe it was about $7,200 before discounts and things. So essentially I have to pay $500 for the records, which is where they go in and they do an impression. They've already done that. Thankfully I didn't have to have the gook put in my mouth. I've had that done before for a nighttime mouth guard. I didn't have to have that done. They actually, my orthodontists have this really cool device where they just go with this like wand thing and they literally just take pictures with this wand thing and it creates the impression online so that the assistants can just send it to the orthodontist. The orthodontist can check it out anytime. They don't have to keep hundreds of actual real molds around to keep track of progress or anything like that. They can do it all electronically. So that is really cool. I'm really glad that my orthodontist offers that, because it's just a really cool thing. I love, you know, new changes, new technology, all that cool stuff. So that's really cool. And so I paid the $500. I got all of my x-rays, my full frontal face done where they take the before pictures. I had all of that done. That was about $500. And then my first initial payment that I have to pay to get my braces put on is about $320. So considering previous quotes I've had in the past and where I thought I was going to have to kind of go with this monetary wise, I am very surprised and grateful that it is something that is obtainable for me. It hasn't been in the past, so I'm super glad that it is something that is more affordable for my state now. So it is going to be those initial payments, and then it's essentially going to be about $300 a month that I have to pay to go ahead and keep going with the progress. Every appointment I'm gonna have to pay about $300 per month. So that's really exciting, considering I thought even that would be a bit more, and I have to have them on for 2 years in total so far as the estimate by the orthodontist. So considering I thought it was going to be 3 or more years, and I also thought I would have to have like broken jaws and things like that, I'm really excited with that information as well. Essentially what the orthodontist has said is that I need to get 4 teeth pulled, which, I mean, that seems pretty common for most overcrowding when it comes to braces. It seems like they want to take out a lot of your molars, those back teeth, because they tend to cause the problem. So right now, warning on how this might look, but right now they're actually taken out. They've actually taken out 2 of my teeth already. So that happened on Thursday, just before Good Friday. So that was fun, especially since we had to travel that day to go to my mother-in-law's. So that was really fun to have 2 teeth pulled and then get right in a car practically and drive to my mother-in-law's. So thankfully she was really awesome about it, and my husband was, but it just wasn't something that was ideal. But at the same time, this is something I've wanted for years and years, and just with the way things were lining up and when we could get this done, the sooner the better to me. So, and the fact that I have all weekend to kind of heal and then go back to work, and then I get my second set, because then I have to have 2 on this side. I'm gonna have that done in a couple weeks. So the extraction story. So essentially I ended up I'm not a huge fan of the dentist, especially as a kid. I hated it. I mean, I didn't have very nice teeth and there wasn't much they could do for me, so it wasn't always a very pleasant experience. And so I really just had a lot of anxiety when it came to the dentist, but as I've gotten older, I've been able to conquer that more and face that more. I mean, typically what I do is they put on the sunglasses, I take off my glasses, give me the sunglasses, and I close my eyes and I go to my happy place. Essentially, I pretend that I'm not even really there. I don't want to see what they're putting in my mouth, because then I just tend to overthink about it and think, oh my god, what's that jabby thing they're sticking in me? So I just tend to just lay there and let them do their thing. For this time, I mean, I've had teeth pulled before. I had to have a tooth down here pulled when I was about 16 when it got infected, because again, crowding, tooth didn't know where to go. It was trying to come out like this way, it was rubbing against the other teeth, and it caused an infection. So I had to have this tooth here, which is actually the tooth I'm going to get pulled again, but I had to have the original tooth here pulled, and essentially I was 16, so I don't really completely remember all of it because that was, you know, quite a few years ago, but I do remember that it wasn't a great experience. I mean, who really loves having teeth pulled? I'm not sure. If you do, then kudos to you, but for me it's not something that I love the idea of. So I just know it was a lot of gauze stuck in. I mean, I've also had some wisdom teeth out. I've had both of my wisdom teeth down here out. And again, that was a lot of gauze, a lot of, you know, Advil, Tylenol, that type of thing to deal with the pain, and essentially sleeping it off mainly. And this time I'm having 2 done, and then I'm going to have 2 again. So I was just feeling overwhelmed a bit when I went. And the other thing I was thinking too was when I got in that chair, it was like, oh my god, this is happening. Like, when I start this, these are 2 teeth that could potentially stay in my head for as long as I could keep them. I'm having them manually like ripped out of my head on purpose. Like, I'm voluntarily having this done so that I can get my beautiful smile. Like, this is real, this is happening, and once this kind of happens, I mean, there's not really any going back. Not that I want to go back, but I mean, this is it. This is like the step to just go forward. I mean, 1 set out, I'm gonna get the 2nd set out, and then after that it'll be pretty much braces town. But so, I mean, I think sitting there in the chair, I just got a little overwhelmed, and I was thinking of all that, and I almost, like, I kind of forgot to breathe a bit, and I was just like, oh my god, like, it caught my breath, and I was just like, oh my god. And then both the dentist and the assistant are looking at me and they're like, are you okay? Like, are you okay? And I was just like, I'm getting my teeth pulled. Like, I'm gonna have braces soon. And they're just like, yeah. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. Like, I apologize. You know, I need like a moment. Like, this is, wow. Like, I'm a very emotional person already. I cry at, you know, commercials about cute puppies. So, I mean, having this happen, I had to take like a couple deep breath. They're like, yeah, just breathe, like, we'll give you a minute, and they kind of like let me just kind of sit for a second and just be like, wow, like, take it in, Deanna, like, this is happening, this is a step to going, like, yay. Like, there was really no words, really. It was just like, wow, just overwhelming. I cried, of course, and I think the dentist was almost like, kind of put off a little bit because he's like, like, are we okay to go? And I'm like, oh yes, like I really want to go, and they're giving me Kleenex to like wipe my tears, and I tend to joke a lot when I'm in awkward situations too, and I'm just like, you know, I'm sure you see a lot of tears, but I'm sure you don't really see them out of joy instead of pain. And he's like, no, not really, I don't. So, I mean, that was just kind of funny that it is that overwhelming, and it's that, you know, big for me that it causes that reaction. And even the sweet assistant that I had, she was like, oh my God, you really want this, don't you? I'm like, yeah, I do. Like, tears coming out. Yeah, I do. Like, I've wanted this since I was like 12. And she's like, oh my God, like, I'm so happy for you that you're having this done. I'm like, thank you. And she was like a sweetheart. She was holding my hand and everything while I had them. Because, I mean, it wasn't painful other than that needle top of your mouth. Oh, that one was not fun at all. That was a big, huge pinch, and then they have to like keep it in there for like, oh, he had it in there for a good like 10-15 seconds, and you're just like, like, so that part wasn't fun. But after that, I was frozen. It was funny because I didn't really get frozen here at all, which I've had it where I've been frozen here when I've had fillings done. So I don't like that feeling of having like my nose frozen. It was mainly just down here and like in here where I mean, it doesn't really cause too much freezing on the outside. It was on the inside, so it actually, I didn't mind where the freezing was, so that was a nice plus. It was really like just strange because apparently this one down here was a baby tooth still. So, I mean, the tooth that I got, I'm gonna show you, please hold a moment. So I got to keep my teeth, so she cleaned them all up for me, which was really sweet. If you don't want to see this, look away, maybe come back in about a little bit, but I mean, these are my teeth. So this was the top tooth, this was the full adult tooth, that was the top tooth, and that was the one up here. Caused probably the most issue to get this one out because it even like broke a little bit and they had to get like some of the shards out. That was not fun. So I mean, again, I didn't feel it, I just didn't like the fact that I had to go back in there, and then in my head I'm like, uh-oh, like what if I need to have surgery, like, and then I'm just like, just breathe, he's cool, he's gonna get it out, we're gonna be good. And then this one actually here, which if you can see, this one is actually my baby tooth. This was still a baby tooth. I mean, look at that silver lovely filling that's in there from when I was younger. I mean, that's some old school fillings. This tooth is a baby tooth, and I just can't even believe that I held on to this baby tooth for that long. Like, it never wiggled, it never wanted to come out. I mean, him even getting it out was harder than I thought it was going to be. Like, he had to kind of jerk my head back and forth with both of the teeth, but I thought this one would be like pretty easy because they kept saying, oh, it's a baby tooth, it's a baby tooth. And I mean, I can see where it's a baby tooth when you see it side by side, if you can see that. Like, that is, you know, one is very long compared to the other one. So definitely this one doesn't have as long of roots, but they're still pretty big roots. I mean, they're molar roots, so they're pretty big. And then I got to keep them in this little tooth container. So, I mean, they're still pretty significant, even though it was baby tooth. Like, that's just weird to me. So I'm glad that I got to keep them. That's really cool because I'll get to compare them to this tooth. So I always thought that this one here, I always thought that was like a smaller tooth. Like, it looks really tiny compared to the rest of them. So I always kind of thought that was like a weird baby tooth. like those anomalies where sometimes you can have two baby teeth in a row. I thought it was something weird like that, but no, apparently that one's gonna be a regular adult tooth, so I'm definitely gonna love to see the comparison to my little baby tooth and see the difference. But so for recovery for this lovely extraction, I mean, right away I pretty much drove myself home after everything was all said and done. He had to stitch me up on the top, which that like sent shudders down my spine, because he like literally had like what felt like dental floss that was like pulling in and out, and I could feel it sometimes getting, because I have like a gap here where my teeth are like pushing each other, like this tooth is pushing itself out and like this one's like coming in or something. It's really weird. It's part of the reason I'm getting braces, other than all the other overcrowding. My teeth just do not have room and they're still trying to move. So I could feel it sometimes get caught like in that, so it was a really like, oh, it was not a nice feeling to get those stitches. And then like sometimes I couldn't feel like the piercing or anything, but I could feel like the pulling, like my gums pulling, and oh, it just was not a nice feeling, to the point I was holding the assistant's hand, because I just you know, just don't like things done with my teeth very much. And yeah, I'm signing myself up for this, but still, it's not my favorite thing to have more pain in there. So I'm holding her hand and I'm literally like, ha, ha, like squeezing it, and she's just like, ow, my hand, like I didn't squeeze my husband's hand that hard when I gave birth to my son. Like it was just it's right near your face, and it's just not a nice feeling. And she was just like, oh my god, are you okay? Can you feel it? And I'm like, I feel the pulling, and it feels weird. And they're like, oh, like I could almost literally feel them like pulling it through my gums. So it was not a nice feeling. So I was very grateful when that was done and over with. And I really am like, fingers crossed I don't need it on this side. I might have to. Like I think it's mainly because they had to had pieces in there. He had to dig in there more to get the pieces out. So then that's why the sewing was necessary, the stitches were necessary. So I'm really like, let the next side go even better. Let the next side go even better. I know what to expect now. I'm not going to be as anxious. I mean, that freezing that needle really hurt, but hey, it's only like 30 seconds of pain maybe, and then it'll be done. It's 30 seconds that it's totally worth it, because I'll have a beautiful smile, I'll get those teeth out, and then it'll be, I mean, hop, skip, and a jump until it's time to get my braces on. So, and yes, I know it's going to be painful. I've heard how it's going to be painful, so I'm just trying to prepare myself as much as I can for that, for the aching and stuff. I mean, maybe having these teeth out and then these teeth out, maybe that'll get my gums kind of like warmed up to the idea of having things happen. But I'll definitely keep you posted on that. And then when it came to actually like home recovery stuff, it was just a matter of essentially taking care of it, keeping the gauze in. I probably kept it in for about an hour or so, just in case, and then I took it out. It was gross, and then I put more in just to even just keep it, because at one point we were driving in the car and half of my tongue was covered in blood, so that was pretty gross. So I just stuck more gauze. Thankfully they gave me a nice little wad of gauze, so I just stuck that in. And I just essentially that night I had like a smoothie, even though it's really not fair. My family had pizza and stuff like that. One, I'm on an eating better cleanse. Like I'm trying to get out the carbs and like get rid of some of the sugar. So the fact they're like eating pizza, that was like, okay guys, thanks. And then I'm also not even able to like eat really. Like I'm stuck on like a liquid diet practically. It's just like, oh yay. So that was, I kind of did take like a couple pieces. Like I cut like just like 2 pieces of the pizza. I figure, hey, like again, like it's not something where I want to starve myself or anything like that or completely deprive myself. It's just doing it in moderation and being more mindful of what I'm eating, and not like just stuffing my face like when I'm not even hungry and things like that. It's just being more aware of what I am ingesting. So I did take a couple little bites, especially just for the cheese, because, you know, I love cheese. And then just the rest of it was just smoothie. Like, I can't even remember what kind of smoothie I had. I just made myself a smoothie. And then I had a smoothie for the morning as well. They all had like bacon and eggs and stuff. I mean, I can eat bacon and eggs on my meal plan, but I couldn't eat that. Like, I tried to even eat dinner the next night, because the next night, Saturday night, or sorry, it would have been, yeah, I think it was Saturday night. So Thursday night I had a smoothie. Friday night, I'm gonna say I had a smoothie, and then Saturday night would have been when we had our dinner. And that's when I had, essentially, like, I made a plate of food because I was like, oh, okay, I've healed a bit, like, I should be good to go. But no, I mean, I just couldn't. It was just too much with the chewing. And I mean, I've got stitches in there. I've got, you know, 2 holes on this side of my mouth. I'm trying to heal, make sure there's no food getting in there. So I just, yeah. Oh, no, it would have been Friday night. Sorry, last night was our first night that we were home, so it would have been Friday night that we had the dinner. I apologize. So Friday night, I definitely tried to eat some of what they could, because it's like, oh, it's been more than 24 hours. Like, I got my tooth pulled at like 3 in the afternoon. Like, should be good, but no. It just, nope, let's go back to my smoothie. So definitely just kept myself, you know, eating those and trying to go as soft. I even, last night I had mushroom soup for dinner, and the mushroom soup had like little mushrooms in it, and it just kind of freaked me out a bit, because like the clots that you get kind of go a little gray in color, so it's almost like the mushrooms, they're gray, so it's like, is that a clot? Is that a mushroom? Like, so I'm kind of wishing I hadn't had the mushroom soup, because it kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'd rather have maybe even kind of blended it more, so that the mushrooms were even like smaller and things, or like gone into the, you know, disintegrated into the soup, into the soup smoothie. But yeah, I definitely just took it easy, and lots of Tylenol. Well, I don't want to say lots of Tylenol, but I definitely took 2 Advils, and then in a couple hours I'd take like 2 Tylenols, and then like in another hour I'd maybe take an Aleve, an extra strength Aleve, and just like kept that kind of going, making sure that I didn't exceed any of what the bottles told me to for the dosage amount, and what's the allowable limit amount in a 24-hour period, but still making sure that I'm maintaining like my comfort level and not having crazy pain or anything. I mean, I don't think ever was it like actual like, oh my god, pain, because like one of my fears was dry socket, and that's like if you're sucking on a straw, or you're smoking a cigarette, or you're just really like irritating it to the point that you're popping that blood clot, or like having that blood clot get damaged, because you want that blood clot to cover that bone and start the healing process and really, you know, maintain that care of your tooth and your gums. So I'm just like extra cautious, because I know my husband one time, he was smoking and he got a blood clot, or he removed a blood clot, sorry, and then he got dry mouth. My husband is not a wimpy guy. He's not one that's like got a low pain tolerance. He's got a pretty high pain tolerance. I mean, he did karate for most of his growing up. Like he's you know, he can maintain his pain, but that one brought him to his knees, and like if he can't handle it, like I don't want to touch it at all. So very much like mindful of how I'm taking care of that to make sure I don't get that. I think I'm, knock on wood, I think I'm out of the clear, but I want to make sure I'm taking care of it, so that there are no issues, there are no infections, there are no, you know, anything to delay my process as well of getting the braces done, as well as nothing to cause me pain or discomfort, because I mean, I'm already going to be going through enough discomfort and pain that I'm bringing on myself. I don't need any extra pain that I caused myself. So I've just been taking it easy, soft foods, staying away from really hot foods for the first bit because you don't want to aggravate it, you don't want to burn anything in there. And then also just, I mean, ice cream is your best friend. It's the excuse to have ice cream if you want to have ice cream. Like, I had an ice cream smoothie, like a milkshake. That was nice, because even the ice cream, I felt like I didn't want to risk anything. I'm a wimp. I'm overly cautious, so I didn't want to risk it, so I smoothed that down so that it was even easier to have for me. So definitely recommend that. I mean, smoothies, a blender might be your best friend if you have a tooth extraction. And it's something that I'm gonna have to get used to for a bit too, because when I get those braces on, I'm not gonna want to have anything hard up in that. I mean, I don't want to break any brackets. Plus, the first couple days of having braces, I know with experience from seeing my stepdaughter go through it, it's not fun. I mean, she was laid out on the couch, like not wanting to touch anything, like practically crying, even eating ice cream. So I feel bad enough for her. She's not a huge wimp, and I want to be cautious myself. Even coughing and yawning is scary sometimes. Just you're like, oh God, don't move your mouth too much. Especially since I feel like I can still feel the stitches almost. It's like, oh God, don't let anything pull it. Brushing too. I skipped brushing the first night because I was just like, no, I'm not even going near that. I'm not messing with that. And then just very gentle. Like, obviously this side of my mouth was perfectly fine to brush because I have nothing going on over here, but over here it's very gentle. It's very not touching the gums at all yet, and just back 2 teeth, very, very gentle because I can barely even see them or get to them, so just very, very gentle. And then like just very gentle on these teeth because you don't want to aggravate that. So, and then gargling, well, not gargling, but rinsing with salt water. You want to wait at least like 12 hours from the time your appointment was to make sure you're not dislodging any of those clots or anything like that, but just very gently getting it in the mouth, and just salt water to help the healing process and help keep it clean too, to avoid any infections. So that was something definitely that I maintain. And the biggest thing I've noticed, and I don't know if you can hear it compared to my last video, is I feel very much like I'm lispy a little bit. Like I feel like I have a lot of, for one, like my tongue is just feeling weird against like the holes now. It's like you can tell they're there. There's holes there. So my tongue's just like, what's going on? And it's just like feeling very strange, and I get a lot of like buildup of saliva now because I'm like not really swallowing as much because it's like I don't want to irritate it too much. So I've definitely noticed that I'm just kind of talking differently, and definitely once I get these two teeth pulled, I think it's going to be a whole other level. Part of me wishes I had just gotten them all done, get it over with, but at the same time getting 4 teeth pulled at once on a Easter weekend, that just might have been a little too much. I am proud of myself. I haven't had a single thing of chocolate, even though some people bought me some chocolate for Easter. Like Adam's lovely Nana bought me chocolate, but I haven't had a stitch of it because I'm avoiding very sugary things, especially chocolates and sweets and things like that. I mean, ice cream, yes, I've had, but I can't then have ice cream and then go and indulge on a bunch of like chocolate sweets. So ice cream was more just to, you know, deal with this and kind of almost freeze my mouth. I have done that as well. That was something else I did. I felt the Friday night it started getting really sore, so I just got some ice in like I actually ended up just putting ice in a paper towel, and I just put it up to my cheek, and then I even put it in my mouth to kind of like soothe like this area almost, to help kind of soothe that area, because you know you're swelling, inflammation, all that fun stuff. So just trying to get that all settled down. And so that's been my journey so far. So this is my like 1 week check-in practically. I think it's been even less than that since I posted, but it's been about 1 week since I made that video. And yeah, we talked about, okay, I'm starting this process, and boom, we're hitting the ground running. So we've already got 2 teeth out. I got 2 more to go, so I'll definitely do an update for that. I might even do an update again in about a week just to say how I'm going. I have noticed, just to bring it back a little bit to the weight loss, obviously Thursday morning I did my workout. I didn't go to the gym Thursday though, because it's the day before a long weekend. We were traveling, so I had some running around to do. And I know I already had the workout in the morning, plus I was eating really well, and I knew I wasn't really going to be having an actual dinner that night, so I was like, you know what, I don't want to be going too hard, because I'm going to be counteracting, because I'm not even going to be able to consume as many calories as I want, so I don't want to be getting rid of calories that I haven't even ingested. I don't want to get to that point where I'm making myself sick or anything, so I avoided the lunchtime workout. I ended up, instead, I had the morning workout, and then I just watched what I ate, and then just had my smoothie, went to bed pretty much, and then, I want to say Friday, I didn't work out at all, because Friday, I was just like, no, I'm at my mother-in-law's. I'm not really set up to be able to, really have space for it, because she's very crowded. She only has, a 2-bedroom place with a basement, and there was, 7 of us in the house, so it was pretty crowded, so I just kind of ignored it that day. And plus, I was just let's just focus on getting better. I don't want to aggravate anything, let's just take that day, and that was my optional rest day. And then ended up yesterday, I didn't work out in the morning. Usually I work out about 6, 7 in the morning, depending on when I get up, but I didn't on Saturday, because that was when we were leaving, so I ended up just doing it when I got home. And then this morning I worked out this morning, so, and I've been watching the eating even more so because of the teeth, so really I'm kind of forced to really just be even more mindful. It's a little difficult trying to find low carb, low sugar things that are soft. I can't eat mashed potatoes because they're high in carbs. I can't eat breads and things that are soft because they're high in carbs. So I have to be more mindful. I gotta watch even the soups and some of the smoothies. I gotta watch, because if you put in too much of the fruit in the smoothie and everything, then you're not helping yourself, because you're just going over that macro intake, and you're going over the calorie count, and you're hitting too many sugars when you're just mushing it all into a blender and then just drinking it all in one sitting. That's sitting there and eating a whole tray full of all those sweets, all those, well, I don't want to say sweets, but they are sugary, all those sugary fruits. It's sitting there with a tray and just mowing them all down when you're putting it in a blender. So I just want to be really mindful. So that's why I did add spinach, and I had almond milk and things like that, and yogurt, Greek yogurt. That's what I've more been leaning towards in my smoothies. So definitely interesting, and an experience, and something to learn as I'm going through getting my teeth done. So it's definitely an interesting time when I'm doing this all. Healthy me, happy me, that's what the goal is. So might as well just all do it, and be proud of myself, and keep going, keep pushing myself. So again, just thanks for watching. I'm sorry if this was a bit rambly at all, but just wanted to let y'all know what's going on. No, I'm not from the South, so I'm sorry for saying y'all. It's something I say. I'm up here in Canada. We're not in the South. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. I hope you learn some things. Anyone that's going to be going through tooth extractions, braces. I know I'm on a binge watching session in Netflix, or not Netflix too, of course, but I'm in a binge watching situation on YouTube, just trying to find everything I can, especially when it comes to adult braces. Not as much out there. There is stuff out there. I definitely see the stuff out there, but of course it's more your teens and things like that. The the, you know, usual age range of when people get braces, their teen years. So having anyone that's over 30, which is me, you know, getting braces, that's not something you really see as often. So that's why I thought I'm chronicling this not only for you, but for me. Like, I'm putting this out there because I want to see, like, I want to see how did I do and where did I go. And I'm gonna get myself more out there, and maybe even next time I'll even actually do the videos right when I get my teeth pulled. This weekend it just didn't happen. I mean, we're traveling. It's just, I didn't even want to deal with it. Like, I had other things on my mind. But next time, I mean, it'll be the weekend or the Friday before Mother's Day, so that'll be fun. And my son's birthday will have been a few days beforehand, so that'll be really fun. But at least I'm going for a nice spa day the weekend before with my best friend, so that kind of balances it out, you know. That kind of sends me to hopefully a nice relaxed state. I did start a new job too just on Monday, and then start all this, so I mean, I'm just like, I go, like, just give her, but anyways, thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my journey. I'll post when I can. I'm aiming for once a week, but I will do what I can, being a mother, stepmother, you know, full-time worker, and going through this journey. I'm gonna do what I can, and I'm gonna be kind to myself because I'm worth it, you are worth it, and I'm just gonna see where this journey takes me and how it goes. So thanks so much. Bye.